All right, just to be clear on how this lid is being built for the box. This is looking at the lid from the side. This is, here's a piece of the wood, and we're looking at the end right there. That's the end here, that rectangle. Gonna cut a little slot in it. Now it's going to be in all four pieces that go all the way around the lid, and then it's going to be a 1/4 inch slot, and a piece of 1/4 inch plywood is going to slip into it, and all the pieces will be assembled around it. Of course, the ends are also going to be box jointed. I want it to match the rest of the box. Now I could be lazy and just butt joint the pieces together, but I don't want to do that now. Actually, I do kind of want to do it, but it's not the right way to do it, so I'm not going to. The trick on cutting these slots is you can't, since the ends of the boards are going to be visible on all the corners because of the box joints, as you see here, where I'm going to have, since the lid's going to be 2 inches, I'm going to have 2 pieces here. Actually, they aren't going to be visible on both pieces, so that is going to make it easier. This is one of the reasons I actually have been not fussing too much about spending time filming what I'm doing, even though it makes it take longer. Because when I talk about things, things happen in my head and I realize stuff. And if I don't explain them to people, then sometimes I miss things, which, you've seen me miss a few things in this whole series. Well, so that's going to make it easier. Anyway, but on 2 of the pieces, you cannot cut the slot all the way through, all the way to the end, because the end is going to be visible and you'd be able to see the slot. You're going to see me setting up to make sure that doesn't happen. Let's go from here. All right, got ahead of myself a little bit there. I'm going to cut the box joints on the piece first because of the reason I explained here, because I can't have the end, the slot going all the way out the end of one piece. It's a lot easier to do this with a router. Table saw makes a big, long, let's go ahead and draw that. Table saw, you've got, the blade kind of sticking up like this, and then the board going through like this. Well, when you stop the cut to keep it from going through, let's say you stop the cut right here, you've got this big long piece, and actually the blade does not stick up this high. The cut is more like this. You got this whole piece here you've got to try to chip out and remove, which is a pain. But with a router, the router ends up making a slot if you were looking down on the slot. Like this. Over here, because it's a round bit, it makes a little rounded end, which is all the way deep. This is looking down on the slot. This is looking across the slot. All you got to do is just kind of trim out this little piece here. Or actually, even since it's only a 1/4 inch, you can actually go a little bit farther and have some extra slop there. It's a lot easier, a lot less work to do it with a router. Well, right now I've got the router bit all set up for this jig because I haven't changed it. So what I'm going to do first, I know I'm bouncing back and forth here, but hey, you can always rewind it and see if you can make some sense of it. I'm going to go ahead and cut the box joints on the pieces first. Then I will cut the slots afterwards. Of course, the problem right now is cutting the box joints on this. When I had a big panel, I could clamp it, here and here in 2 places, and it's nice and solid. I've got it only clamped here. because it's the only place I can clamp it. And even explaining it to you on video, as I was talking about before, nothing is occurring to me on how to clamp it any more securely than this. I suppose I can stick something heavy on it over there to keep it from flopping around. But I've actually been spending a lot of time hemming and hawing before I even picked up this phone to film this, about whether I was going to do it this way or whether I was going to like try to hand cut it. But that's a whole nother skill set. And also it's at the top, you know, it's the one of the most visible joints. So I don't want to, I don't want to do that. Of course, I also don't want to jam the powerful router into this and have the thing flop around and totally screw the piece up either. So, see, I'm actually thinking on camera right now. So, hey, give you a little bit of insight into the strange workings of Arkansas Pilgrim's brain. Let's go ahead and do it. I got this heavy sucker stuck on there. Let's go for it, and hopefully it won't move. Okay, this even says, see, 1/4 inch category. I think it's 0.234 inches. It's not. Look on a caliper, which is going to be hard to read. I mean, they're hard to read, even, you know, not on a cheapy phone. But having a really sharp bit helps. Larger. Okay, I have the second one set up in 1/4 inch. Failed to mention that what I'm going to have to do is these pieces. Well, let's back up, see the whole thing. I'll run the other. They're actually cut to run the other pieces through there before I had to trim down the pieces on the chest. You know, I had to trim off all the box joints I had originally cut through again because they weren't working. Slightly increase the diameter of the slot. I did not trim these down to length yet because, well, just in case I screwed up doing this, I wanted to have some leeway to work with. So I'm going to cut these on both ends, then or on one end of both pieces. Then I'm going to trim it to length, and then do the other side. And another thing I might mention is having this big, gigantic, heavy bucket, which I could, you know, was tough enough lifting up there in the first place, trying not to gouge up the edges of this. That's why I've got this 1/4 inch plywood here. Well, I actually did get, this is actually the side piece, but I guess this part right here where I dented it in, that's either going to go onto the inside of the lid, or it's going to add character to the finished product. Two down. All right, here's the pieces I'm hand assembling just to set up, show the lid on top. And the top two box joints are the lid. It's 2-inch piece here. You see? Seems to fit fairly well. The next step, and it's also seems to be nice and flush, so they seem to combine properly. The next step will be to cut a slot all the way around in each piece that will be able to hold the 1/4-inch plywood, which will make up the rest of the lid. All right, I'm changing bits out to go ahead and do the slot as I talked about earlier. So this is not exactly off subject, because this has to do with just taking care of your tools. Okay, this is a brass, but this is Harbor Freight. Hey, this is another one of those things that, hey, I mean, how bad can it be? It's a brush, okay? They're really cheap from Harbor Freight. It's brass. Brass is really soft. You're not going to worry about scratching, chipping, or anything. So, and this is a nice router bit. So I'm, scraping off residual gunk from all this routing we've been doing on wood, and crud builds up on it. So I scrape it off first, and then I'm not gonna bother with doing it now, but I am gonna go spray some super clean on it to do the final cleaning, because I mean, it's the same gunk that builds up on table saw blades, just like I showed in other videos about how great super clean cleans the gunk off of blades. So, and actually, you can even after brushing, you can see there's some crud built up right there. I think you can see it even on this cheapy phone I'm using. So, even though, I mean, you can see the mess I've left on, because I'm not cleaning up in between steps because I'm in a hurry to finish, which I've described as being a problem before. But on something like this, when I take tools off, tools apart, put them back away, you've got to clean them up. I mean, I can vacuum up, sweep up sawdust anytime. Cleaning the tool up to prevent it from corroding or causing any problems, that's a primary thing, especially when you have nice ones. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go put some Super Clean on this, get it cleaned up, get all the gunk off of it, and then I'm either going to spray it with some WD-40, which will get any residual moisture off of it. But WD-40 does not really protect anything from rust. It gets rid of the water immediately, but after that, it doesn't do much. It's more of a cleaner than it is a protector. After that, I am going to rub some Ballistol on it. Ballistol is something I learned about from Wrangler Star. You buy it in sporting goods stores in the firearms department. Ballistol, ballistic. It's you rub it on stuff and it prevents rust. At least that's what I've been told, and it seems to do that. I've switched it out to the 1/4-inch bit, and I've also taken the bottom plate off and put the plate on for my router table that I made. And now what I need to do is adjust it to a 3/8 inch depth. Here's a router table I put together. I mean, it's not really that complicated. It's a box, okay? It's a box. Happened to have something that had some a piece of Formica on it, which is fairly slick. Things move along, move over it fairly easily. And I use that as the top. Router table holds your router vertical with the bit out top, so you can do like lines, regular, a very regular and controlled way of routing on a piece. All right, I just need to set up the fence here so that and I've set it where it looks like the edge of the cutter is 3/8 of an inch away from the fence. And then I'm going to clamp it in place, which is probably not ready yet. Just close it, screw it down till it's tight, open it, another half twist, there, it's tight. And double check that it didn't move. Yeah, that's 3/8. Okay, I've got the pieces. I need to make sure that I'm doing the right side of them, since you can see this one. This is the piece that kind of got beat up a little bit when I was having that bucket of change, which is fine because it also has some other issues. But that's the side I want the slot on, so that the nice side is outside. There. And then this piece has to match, and this piece looks nice either way you use it. So, and also we need to obviously make sure to cut along here, not, cut along the notched side, not the tab side. I wasn't filming doing the other cutting, but my router bit snapped off. And I was doing a full depth cut. I didn't think I was pushing it that hard, but, well, apparently I was. Hopefully I will be able to get this replaced under warranty. We'll see. But for now, that kind of shuts this down until I get a replacement.